So, Colin Cowherd, which, let's be honest, if you follow Colin Cowherd or you see anything about him, the guy's not the brightest when it comes to some of his takes. And I very much disagree with this take as well, but I agree with it from the other point of view here. So, this is not just Colin Cowherd who has said this. I've seen this in my comic section. I've seen this throughout a lot of other areas as well. Is that the Steelers should trade away TJ Watt. Now, trading away, the second part, trading away George Pickens, I mean, come on now. Yeah, obviously. Come on. The guy is a freaking mental head case. Now, outside of Mike Tomlin, I don't know any other coach that's going to be able to deal with the guy. But yeah, I would probably try to trade away George Pickens. The guy is crazy. So, I don't think that's a crazy take. I don't think that's an outrageous take. I think that's probably the most logical take I've heard Colin Cowherd say in a good minute. But trading away TJ Watt, from a Bengals fan point of view, I love this idea. Like, trade him away. And Colin Cowherd's example of this is trade him away and get 2 first-round picks and go get Shedeur Sanders. Which, first off, this upcoming quarterback class is not the greatest. We already know that, yes, there's a chance that Sanders could be very successful. There's a chance that any of these quarterbacks could be successful. But it's not really that good of a class. And especially with the fact of, if you're the Steelers here, trading away your number 1 receiver, where your number 2 is, Van Jefferson, Mike Williams, Calvin Austin. You don't really have a number 2 receiver then, and now you don't even have a number 1 receiver, really. I'm not sure what the contracts look like for those 2 guys. But you're trading away George Pickens, which, again, you're now giving a rookie quarterback little to nothing to work with when it comes to receiving core. And then you're trading away your top pass rusher, which I'm okay with, because then we don't have to play him. We don't have to play him anymore. We don't have to play TJ Watt. We don't have to worry about his dirty antics after the whistle against us. We don't have to worry about him trying to hurt Joe Burrow after the whistle and hitting him after the whistle. So I'm like 1,000% good with this, because not only does it take away another player from the AFC North when it comes to pass rushers, it means that, Joe Burrow is more protected and better protected. And I don't have to worry about Joe Burrow having to deal with this crap. So I'm like all for this. I'm beyond agreeing to the idea that TJ Watt being traded away is a good thing. I don't think it's a good thing from the Steelers' point of view, and I think it's going to backfire greatly. But from a Bengals fan point of view, yeah, take away him, get rid of Myles Garrett from Cleveland, and take away all these top premier pass rushers that have to play Joe Burrow twice a year. Because if you take away those guys, I promise you one thing, AFC North, the last thing you want is to give Joe Burrow more time to throw the ball. And if we can work on our offensive line and perfect our offensive line, and, this situation can continue with the trading away TJ Watt, I would not want to be the AFC North, because that's the last thing that you want, is to take away premier top pass rushers and give Joe Burrow more time to throw the ball. So, Colin, it's weird because I'm like I'm a dual-edged sword here. I am saying this is a stupid take, but it's a stupid take from, if you're a Steelers, this is a stupid take. But for our team, I think this is a really good thing. And we also, again, don't have to worry about, Mr. Dirty Watt trying to hurt our players. So, yeah, sure, let's do it. Let's make the AFC North not as good. And let's give us a better chance. Because if Sanders is a bust, which is very possible, given the circumstances he's going into, I will say I don't think that's going to be the best scenario for him. Having to join a team again where they're getting rid of the number one receiver. Yes, they could draft a receiver this year, but I don't really think any receivers this year are going to, again, change the game. There are a couple, but I don't think there's any in the first round you're looking at and saying, okay, this is guaranteed 1,000%. Obviously, you got, cornerback, wide receiver, Travis Hunter, and you got, obviously, the other guy, McMillan, who's going first round. And again, like I said, there's guys, right? There's guys, but not to a point where I say, okay, they're going to take over and help a rookie quarterback become the most successful player out there, right? It's just not. Yes, you could go in free agency and maybe fix it that way. That's a possibility. But again, there's a lot of what ifs. What I do know the what if is if there is no TJ Watt, Joe Burrow sitting back there pretty. He has the time and he has all day to just chillax and chill. And you work on that offensive line, you perfect that offensive line, this could be a very dangerous next season for Joe Burrow for the AFC North. Now, again, the Ravens still have Madubuike. Again, Myles Garrett still with the Brownies. If they get rid of Myles Garrett, lordy. I can't imagine. I know he's not really too happy with the Browns right now, though, because he doesn't like he wants more control higher up. Myles Garrett does. So we'll see how that works out for him. But yeah, the last thing you want to do here if you're an AFC North team is take away a guy that can get to Joe Burrow. But hey, I'm all for it. I say trade him for like a 7th round pick. Trade him to the Lions for a 7th round pick and just watch your franchise burn. I'm cool with that. Absolutely 100%. As long as you don't trade him to an AFC team, I'm cool. Trade him to an NFC team, trade him to Chicago. Cool. I could care less. Because at the end of the day, it's going to help us out more, and it's going to make this division even better for us. Cleveland's already crapping the bed now with Sean Watson out for the next year. And they don't know what they're going to do with their pick, whether take a quarterback or Travis Hunter. If that's the case, let us eat. Let us thrive with the rest of this AFC North becoming dysfunctional. Because if they trade away TJ Watt and George Pickens, it's between Baltimore and Cincinnati for the division next year. And that's just the truth. You take away some of those best players and you try to rely everything on Shedeur Sanders, good freaking luck, Pittsburgh. You not tried exactly, but you went into one season with Mitchell Trubisky and Kenny Pickett, and you walked away with neither of them on your roster a year later. 2 years later, so excuse me. Kenny Pickett was still on the roster, but Mitchell Trubisky ended up leaving. Peace out.